under the broad heading, I guess, of commercialism in the GAA, a couple of interesting things. So, small things. As of this year, the LED advertising panels that we saw at Croke Park, they're going to be in the Championship.
Yeah, that's for the NFL. They're being retained, so obviously that gives sponsors a bigger and better window to for their branding, and that is being retained, and that's because of the NFL game. Yeah. That was an innovation there, and that's staying. But Croke Park would always be looking at innovations. I mean, Peter McKenna would travel looking at other stadiums and importing other ideas, and that's one that's obviously going to be. Yeah. A small feature, but visually it'll look well.
So these are the LED that we see at, say, Premier League grounds where the advertisement changes around the grounds, all that kind of stuff. Okay. We now have 20 of the 32 county grounds, 20 have sold their naming rights. Counties are increasingly all employing commercial managers. And then we had, the first imitation of Michael Jordan with the Clifford collection, which was... bold. McKeever Sports in November. So we now have, if you want hoodies, tops, t-shirts, you can get Clifford, and then the image akin to Jordan. It's Clifford's kind of high follow through, left foot above his head,
really kicking himself in the nose.
Yeah.
It is a very distinctive pose, but actually...
You'd tell it a mile away if I showed it to you. And
if you saw a silhouette, and it is a silhouette, if you saw the silhouette, you'd say it's only one man. It's a very, very distinctive...
He's the first to attempt this. No other GA individual has gone down this route. I know you talked to the McKeever group.
Yeah.
And they were saying, like, to do this, obviously GA is very tribal.
Yeah.
You need... Who is universally popular? Who is, like, perfect? Who do all the kids love? It doesn't matter where you're from, you love this person. And so we had the outstanding candidate. He was a little... now, he didn't say, I'm not quoting him, but there was a degree of, let me win a second All-Ireland, and maybe I'll get another footballer of the year. Because I need to be insulated from the who does this fella think he is vibe.
Pádraig McKeever said that as he was approached after, I think, the 2023, sometime around then, maybe it was 2023, but he liked the idea, according to Pádraig, he liked the idea, but there was... Obviously, I don't want to get ahead of myself here. Even David Clifford in Kerry can't get ahead of himself if he's only won All-Ireland medal. Now, he has more Footballer of the Year awards than All-Ireland medals now, 3 versus 2. So I think he's in a good place to cash in on what he's done so far. And he would have seen this as a unique opportunity, given the Messi connection, Jordan, Tiger Woods. As regards a Gaelic Games player, he's the fit. When you have holiday makers parking up at far-flung Kerry venues in the summer to go and watch Fossa play in the Kerry Junior Championship as it was, and then the Kerry Intermediate Championship, and you have holiday makers from all over the country who are going to these grounds to pay in and see David Clifford and bring their kids and allow them to run out onto the pitch, then you have a superstar of the game. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Just to touch him.
And he's the right fit.
I remember years ago, Jack O'Connor, in his second stint, talking about the Gooch, and he said that, like, his fame was such in Kerry that when he was working in the bank, people used to go in and queue up, and then they get to where the Gooch was, and they just wanted to come in and say hello and see him. And Clifford's gone to a different, like, stratosphere altogether. Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago, I went down to the intermediate final in Kerry, and I got down there nice and early. It was in Tralee, and because it was on the train, so I just got there whatever time I got there, and the man on the gate looked at my press pass and he just started laughing at me, and he says, and would you come down to many Kerry intermediate finals? But there were people from Limerick, there were people who came from Clare, it's incredible as draw, it really is.
I was covering Kerry Armagh in 2022 in the Athletic Grounds. This is before the first All-Ireland. Already he was a huge name and a huge draw. And he came on at half-time, scored a goal, turned the game in Kerry's favour near the end of the league. Final whistle blew, and the crowd of orange jerseys that came in from all 4 corners of the pitch to converge around him, all dressed in their Armagh jerseys, ran by their own players. They wouldn't obviously run by Oisin Connaughty and players like that now, but at the time ran by to congregate around Clifford. It was amazing to see opposition supporters, young opposition supporters, flocking around him. Even that's almost 4 years ago now.
Yeah. Brian Fenton told the story, I think it was to Mick Foley, when some Dublin players accidentally ended up in the same bar as Kerry players. And after a few pints and, bumping into each other in the toilets, they came together and, had a good chat. And he said, in this room full of All-Ireland winners, people just came up to Clifford and Fenton said it was weird, like just to touch him. Nothing to say. Just, can I get a hand on you like a beetle and then I'll walk away.
But the two of them are very similar in lots of ways. They're actually, we've come across a lot of really good GAA players, like elite players with big profiles and a level of fame that's probably above your average sort of, best GAA player around at the time. And they might be a little bit sort of prickly in public and that sort of thing. But both of those guys share the same sort of natural affability. They seem always to be very at ease with the way people treated them, and the sort of weird attention that kind of comes with being famous for what is, after all, an amateur sport.
Interesting to see how well it does. I guess we'll see. I mean, I imagine he became a billionaire out of this. And they're still selling it in 20 years' time. I don't want to be all Justin Timberlake in Social Network here, but I think it'd just be cleaner with just the logo, because they have a big Clifford across it, and then the logo is in the middle of the two L's. And I just think the logo works.
That's the next iteration.
Yeah. Maybe for edition 1 you have to spell it out.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah, do you remember when Nike got into making golf clothing? It was all very orange and fluorescent, and then it became much. So I think maybe next season.
I'll get there. You were writing about image rights as well, then, Colm. So there was an agreement in November. I had missed this. So from now on, permission from the player must be sought, and a fee agreed for inclusion of their image rights. And you said when Sky Sports used a clip of Clifford scoring a goal as part of their montage to promote their portfolio, the fee is thought to have been €7,000. Does that go to Clifford?
Yeah. So that was a montage of action that Sky Sports put in a few years ago when they had the rights to the championship, with some of their other sporting clips as well. So Clifford would have been in with, soccer, all of that but it wasn't just a GAA one. It was for all their portfolio of sport, and he got a payment. And my understanding is it was between €7,000 and €8,000 that he got. We didn't have to do anything apart from just score the goal, but that was image rights. But not every company would have done that, and there were numerous.
Shane O'Donnell brought this up a couple of years ago.
He did in relation to GAA Go at the time, that his image was being used to promote
the website. But I didn't know it went directly to the player. I thought does it go to some central
fund? There might be. In the past, Dublin would have operated a pool. Lots of counties would operate a pool system where the player that is gaining or earning from attending a launch, some of that would go back to the general team pool. I'm not sure how much that operates now, but I think in relation to image rights, I think the player, if the image or the name is being used in any way, that the money will go directly to them. There has been many cases of exploitation through. There have been gambling companies that have used images to promote their product, and the Gaelic Players Association has made representations, but because it was Gaelic games. Once you played Gaelic games, GAA had your image basically. That's not the case now. You own your own image within that.
Okay, because that was a big Phil Mickelson thing. The boy of the PGA own my image. So now, if you want to use any of these guys, you have to get direct permission from them and pay a fee.
Yeah. Now, obviously, in relation to promoting the game through a media organisation, it stops there. So if we produce a picture of someone in action or around a media event, that's allowable. That it doesn't conflict there. But business and commercial, that's where it changes.
Okay.